Hello Stampers, I got a fun little project for you today. This time I'm taking the winter owls to, you guessed it, the winter. I thought I would do this and do a white owl, and super simple saying that I'm going to break it down for you step by step. You can follow along with me. All the sizes for the panels are down below this video. Just click show more, you'll see them all there, along with all the product links that I'm using for the products today. So let's get started. We're going to start with our owl. I've been using, this is the Winter Owl stamp set. I've been using this little guy here. I've probably used it about 5-6 times now. And I decided to use this one in flight today. And I thought it'd be cute if he was like holding a letter for someone special, right? So I'm going to be using this owl here, and I'm going to stamp him on just a scrap piece of basic white, and I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black for this. Just get him inked up here. This is a nice big bold image. It's not a wimpy image, that's for sure. So I'm going to stamp him here. And there is our owl. And then I'm just going to add a little color to him. And I've got a light smoky slate Stampin' Blend marker. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that marker to anywhere that has like these dots. So that kind of makes it simple. Dots there, little dots there. Here's some on the tail. Some right here, and then I'm going to add just a little bit along this wing here, and then some right here along this, just to darken it a bit. So that is it. That's all the coloring we're doing to him. I'm just adding that little light smoky slate to him. Now I'm going to cut this out. There's a die for this, and it's called it's in the Winter Owl dies, and the dies will cut the owls out, plus it has a standalone one. I'm not using it today. I'm just going to fussy cut it real fast, and I will be right back. Okay, I used my paper snips here, and I've got them all cut out. So I'm going to have him all done. I'm going to set him aside. So now we're going to work on our background for our scene. And I have punched out a 2-inch circle punch, and I cut it out of a double layer of Post-it notes. A double layer here because I want to make sure that I have a nice round white moon when I'm done. So I did a double layer so I don't have to worry about anything seeping under it. And I cut it as much as I could out of the sticky part of this. And I'm going to place it up here in the corner. And this piece of paper here is basic white, and it's 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. I'm going to start with a Post-it note. And this is a 3 by 5, but you could hook like 2 of the 3 by 3s together. You just need something to go across this whole panel here. And this is the sticky edge, and I'm just barely ripping some of this off. I don't like my snow to be like totally flat, the edges of it, so I'm just ripping a tiny little bit off. You see that it's got plenty of sticky still on there. We need that to stick on our panel. And I'm going to cover like a third of the panel up here. That looks good, and I think I'm going to move this moon just up a bit. There we go. And because I wanted to make sure I had some room here. So I'm going to start with Gorgeous Grape ink and a blending brush, and I'm just going to blend Gorgeous Grape ink all over this unmasked part of this panel. I'm using a circular motion here. And a good amount of color. It's a pretty color. There we go, and it looks cold. I think this warmer color of purple looks cold to me. Okay, so we have that on. And I'm going to bring out another color here, Starry Sky. This is a beautiful blue. And I'm going to add this up here. And I want to make sure I add some so it comes down or under that moon just a bit. And then I'm going to take it across. Okay, and then I'm going to add some, just putting some on the tip of my blending brush here, and I'm just going to add some down here along this edge to darken it. Now I want to keep that purple like striped area in there. I don't want to get rid of that. So save that purple area there. I'm going to add a little more up here. There we go. And there is that. Now I'm going to remove that moon mask. And I'm going to stamp my trees, and I'm going to bring out some Memento Tuxedo Black first for our trees. Just going to stamp a good amount of trees along this edge here. And I'm going to stamp them like in different heights. I don't want them all the same height. And it's okay if you don't have tree trunks on them, because then they just kind of look like bushes. So I'm stamping them kind of up and down. Let's get a good tall one there. And you can leave gaps because we're going to come in with another color of these. There we go. So that was the Memento Tuxedo Black. I'm just going to wipe that off a bit on my scrap paper. And I'm going to bring out that gorgeous grape again. And we're going to put some of that in. When you repeat a color in your scene, it ends up making it look so much better, like it's intentional. So see, we have some purple ones, and the purple ones look like they're further back. Let's see, one here, one there. There we go. Maybe a lower one down there. So there's like our wooded background. So that is our tree. We're going to remove this. There's our snow. And then I'm going to kind of angle this. Same post-it note. I'm going to angle it. Let's see, let's take it here. I want it to come off the cardstock down here. I don't want any of that like sharp edge on my paper. Need to take it over a little bit more. You don't want the sides of this to be on the cardstock. There we go. See, I have it at the corner of that right at the edge of the paper, and then it's under. You know, because if you catch that color, let me explain this. If I put it on like this, you're going to catch that sharp edge with your color, and it's going to make it look really strange. So make sure you don't have that sharp edge there when you put this on. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my gorgeous grape here, and we're just going to lightly add some of that here. And I want to make sure there's plenty of white at the top of my snow. Just adding some of this here. All right, and that's going to show you where your next snowdrift is. And then I'm just going to add a little of this gorgeous grape down here on my bottom snowbank. So there we have our snow done. It's coming right along. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment. And I'm stamping it in the Starry Sky. Again, I'm repeating colors. Just coordinates so much better. Let me give this a try here. Okay. I just want to stamp this in my snow here on the right side. There we go. Oh, got a little mark there. That's okay. We'll figure something out for that. I must have rocked my stamp. So this is where our bird is going to come in, right? And now he needs a letter. I just got a whole scrap of basic white cardstock here. And I'm just going to cut a little like envelope shape for him to carry. And this is 5/8 wide by 3/8 tall. So it's just a little like rectangle. And you know that smoky slate marker that we had, I'm just going to use the chisel point for this. And I'm going to make like a diamond shape here at the top of my envelope. And now he's all ready to carry that. There we go. And he'll be just like this. All right. There we have that. But I think I'm going to go ahead and do my envelope, and I'll show you how to do that. That way we'll have all our stamping and all that stuff done. So I just want to do the flap of my envelope to make it nice and pretty and kind of match my color scheme here on my envelope. So I'm just taking a scrap piece of paper and I'm putting it underneath my envelope flap there. And that way I don't have to worry about getting it anywhere I don't want it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a decorative mask, and you pick out whatever decorative mask you want to use. I'm going to use this one here. And this is from the Artistic Mix Decorative Mask from Stampin' Up. And I'll have that linked below too. Now I'm just going to put this stencil on here. And I'm going to start with Gorgeous Grape. And I'm just going to add this to my envelope flap here. And I'm not going to do the whole flap. I'm going to have it kind of fade out at the top. There we go. So that's the Gorgeous Grape. And then I wanted to add some of that Starry Sky just to tie into my card there. You may need to line your stencil back up again when you let go of it. It's easy to do. You just look through it. There we go. And then at the bottom of the flap, I'm just going to add some of this Starry Sky here. You can take a look and see what you've got going on here. Then we're going to remove that scrap paper, and there is our envelope. Nice and pretty. That matches our card. So that's an easy way to decorate that envelope for you. We have 3 different mask packs out there, and I think they each have 5 masks in them. And it's quite the value. Okay, so let's start putting this together. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a Starry Sky marker. Just bringing in a Starry Sky Stampin' Blend marker to just help with my little mistake down here. Anytime you have a mistake, just go with it. Add some dots or something to make it seem okay. Don't sweat it. I wouldn't start that scene all over again for that. So that's just my correction. Okay, so we have that taken care of. Now you probably won't have that on your card, but there it is on mine. Now I have a Highland Heather card base here. It's 5.5 by 8.5, and it's folded in half for our quarter card. And inside I added a Starry Sky. We added a Starry Sky panel that's 4 by 5.25, and a basic white panel that's 3 3/4 by 5. And then it's all ready for what other sentiments you'd like to put in it. And then here on the front, I'm going to go ahead and take my main panel here and some multi-purpose glue. Just going to add this to a Starry Sky panel that is the same size as the one we put inside, so it's 4 by 5.25. And I'm just going to put it down here in the right bottom corner. Just match it up there, just for a little something different instead of just always having them in the middle. You can have them to one side. I think that's fun. There we go. And then when you put it on the front of the card, you're going to do that same thing. You're going to put it down in that bottom right corner. And I'll line it up. See how that just gives you a little different look without much work. Okay, so now we're ready to put our owl on. Now I'm going to put adhesive all over this owl except for his beak. I'm going to leave his beak to where there's no adhesive so I can slip that little letter he's carrying underneath it. So there I have my owl. And I'm going to put him as high as I can here without going off of the card. There he is. Super sweet. I love the way he looks. He's flying right into the scene. You got to watch sometimes when you have flying objects that you don't put them like over here on the right side, because what will happen is it looks like he's flying off the card. So we want him to be flying onto our scene. Okay, so now I'm going to add my little letter here. And I thought that was just a fun little detail. I'm going to lift his little beak up here. Shove that under. There we go. So now he's carrying that letter to that special someone. So there we have our card. It's all completed. It's ready to go. So here's my original and our envelope for today. And I hope you enjoyed this project and that you give it a try. Thanks for joining me today. Toodles.